I've been wanting a camera like this for a while now. Not a main camera, not something cinematic, just something that I could throw in my bag and easily use every day. This is one of those cameras I didn't know I needed until I started using it. As a creator, I'm always juggling ideas, work, and time. The last thing I want is another complicated setup. That's why I've been really excited to talk about the DJI Osmo Nano. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so what is the DJI Osmo Nano? This isn't a drone, it's not a full DSLR. It's a compact, modular action camera, designed to be used really anywhere. As creators, we don't always have the time or budget for full setups. Sometimes what we need is something that's ready when we're ready. So this video isn't just about comparing the specs alone, it's about how this camera can fit into real workflows and how I use it on a day-to-day basis. And I'll also be giving some recommendations on who I think this camera is for. So let's jump into the features and specs on this tiny little camera. So the DJI Osmo Nano has a 1 and 1.3 inch CMOS sensor. It's got a 143 degree ultra wide field of view with an aperture of f2.8. The photo resolution is 35 megapixels and the ISO range for photo and video is 100 to 25,000. So this tiny little thing can shoot up to 4K at 120 FPS, which is great for those creators that love that buttery, smooth, slow-mo footage. And it also has 2.7K options and 1080p options for those lower res, smaller files. The DJI Osmo Nano supports 10-bit color and D-Log-M, which gives you more dynamic range and flexibility in post. So the dimensions of this thing are on screen. It weighs about 52 grams, so it's really light and easy to carry around. It also has a modular design with the Vision dock, as you can see. It simply detaches from the dock over here, and this also charges the little camera as well. A neat thing about this camera is it's got built-in internal storage. Depending on what version you get, it either comes in 64 gigabyte or 128 gigabyte. This is the 128 gigabyte model. It does also have room for expanding the storage on the Vision dock. So when you record footage, it'll automatically record onto the internal storage that's on the camera unit here. And then you can go into the settings and export all of those clips onto a micro SD card, and then you can transfer those to a computer as well. The battery life, depending on the conditions and what you're using it for, can last up to 60 to 90 minutes. And when using the dock, you get up to 200 minutes of recording time as per the DJI specs. So this thing also has built-in microphones, and this being a DJI product, it also supports the rest of the DJI microphones as well. So whether you have the Mini 2, the Mini 3, this thing will support and connect to all of those. The DJI Osmo Nano has built-in rock-steady stabilization and horizon balancing that helps smooth out that handheld motion. So the camera unit itself is waterproof up to 10 meters, which is good for outdoor and action use. So if you're taking this thing snowboarding, swimming, I mean, you really shouldn't have a problem. The dock, however, is rated IPX4 splash resistant, so you don't want to be jumping in any pools with this thing. Just as a size comparison, this is how big the DJI Osmo Nano is compared to the DJI mic. So the DJI Osmo Nano is very small but extremely powerful for its size. So moving on to the build quality and design of the DJI Osmo Nano, despite being very compact, it feels very solid and reliable. This thing isn't going to break if you drop it. It fits right inside a pocket or a sling or a bag, and in a lot of other places you really wouldn't think of. Pause. So the user experience, it's very easy to turn on whether you're using the Vision dock or the camera itself. So because I have other gear in my ecosystem, this DJI Osmo Nano tends to fit in super well. I use a lot of DJI products, so adding this to the ecosystem was essentially a no-brainer. It allows me to think differently as a creator and capture different shots and create different kinds of content, which is something I love about gear like this, is versatility and deceiving power. Okay, that brings us to the pros and cons. So let's start with the pros. This thing is ultra portable. You can carry it around and it's always ready. It's really great for spontaneous and on-the-go content. So whether you're doing travel content, vlogs, lifestyle, gym, it really fulfills a lot of those needs. It's easy to use, simple to set up, and anybody can really learn. It's got smooth stabilization and really good video quality for such a small camera. And it complements a creator's workflow without being completely overkill. Okay, moving on to some of the cons. So this is not a full frame cinema camera. So it does have some limitations in dynamic range, low light, and depth versus some larger setups. The audio built in on the mic might be very basic, so you may need to look at an external audio solution. For very cinematic or professional productions, this thing is not going to replace a full DSLR. So this is my final verdict and recommendation on the DJI Osmo Nano. The DJI Osmo Nano will not replace a full rig, but that's not what it's meant to do. It's meant to free you from gear, from setup time, from the "I'll shoot later" excuse. For creators, entrepreneurs, or really anybody that just wants to capture daily content without a huge overhead investment, this thing is a real game changer. If you're building content or building a brand, this is one of the smartest first tools you can buy or add to your toolkit. Drop a comment if you want to see more videos like this. Let me know what you guys think about the DJI Osmo Nano in the comments below. Do you think it's worth all the hype, or do you think it doesn't really live up to expectations? And as always, like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I really enjoy creating these types of videos for you guys, and I love hearing what you guys think. That's all for me. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.